Hi, I'm Alexandra Heilbron from Tribute Entertainment, and we're talking to Yannick Bisson about Murdoch Mysteries. The first time I saw you was in Hockey Night. It was a TV movie. I think it was 1984, and it was very entertaining. You played a hockey player. And I was wondering, how did you get started in acting? Was that your first job?
That was my first dramatic role. I had done some commercials up until then. I'd been sort of making the rounds as a kid actor, and I was up for anything and everything. So I did a few ads. I remember one was a Bubble Yum commercial. One was cornflakes. I can't remember the others, but yeah, I got auditioned for this this show, Hockey Night, and I got the part. And apparently, and I found out it just had its I don't know what year anniversary, but it's been remastered and digitized, and it's going to be released on iTunes. And I saw it again in the theater with my old friend Martin Harbury, the producer, this past fall. And apparently, and he never told me this, but he said it there on the panel. He said, yeah, they found me, and they decided to change who they were going to use for the lead girl, and because they wanted to work with me. So then the search went out for somebody a little bit older, and that's how Megan Follows ended up being chosen. I never knew that. I always assumed that she got chosen before anybody else.
People have been watching you as William Murdoch for 10 seasons. Do you find that fans assume that you're exactly like him?
Well, I mean, maybe not on a conscious level. I think people assume that you are a lot more like your character than you are, and they assume that you're a lot taller too. Happens a lot. I don't really know. I mean, I think some people are intrigued by the show, the character, the period, and all that, and they're drawn to that. Maybe not necessarily to some guy who's got a family and whatever. So I think some people like to suspend disbelief and really be focused on the character itself. But then there are fans who are fans of me as an actor and want to know what I'm up to and follow me on social media and that sort of thing. But yeah, vastly different. Vastly different. Although I do use some big words sometimes.
So what's the biggest difference between you and William Murdoch?
Oh, I would say he's a lot more patient. He's a lot more intelligent. I don't know, probably more tenacious. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Murdoch is sort of our best self on our best day. He's sort of all of us. He's our hero, and he's an all-around good guy. And I'm a sort of whingy actor.
And the similarities, besides both using big words?
Well, I am very loyal. I am patient, and I do treat people with respect. I do believe that everyone should be treated fairly and has the right to be happy and to be supported by their country and their government, and that they are an equal member and an equal strength thread in the tapestry that is our country. So yeah, that's the type of person I am, and I think Murdoch is too.
How long does it take to film one season?
One season films in about 7 months, just under 7 months. But the post-production, we're basically at the point now between writing and post-production, we're going year-round. One department or another is going year-round.
How has Murdoch evolved through the years?
Well, part of what makes Murdoch interesting is that he's always learning. He's always learning of a new person's struggle, a new perspective, or racial struggles, or religious struggles, or gender identity, or all the type of things that we all think about and discuss today. He's sort of like the layers of an onion peeling away and sort of the revelations are coming to him. We see that, we experience that through him, and we form, our own opinions. And I think, as time has gone on, he's loosened up a little bit. He started out a little bit more sort of black and white about things, and it's been fun to sort of pick him apart a little bit at a time.
Do you think you would ever get tired of playing Murdoch?
I don't think I'll ever be tired of playing Murdoch. I think, our country has embraced this show and me, and that's all I ever dreamed of when I was coming up as an actor, is to someday be able to be on a show that people, my family and people in my country watched and liked and wanted to see continue, and that's been an incredible dream. I don't really want to give it up anytime soon.
I'm very glad to hear that. I was almost afraid to ask that, because I'm hoping that you'll be on the air for many, many seasons to come, and that the next big event we'll see is like the Spanish flu epidemic of 1918.
There you go. That's a good long run.
What is the most dangerous stunt you've had to do for the show?
For Murdoch, well, we've blown some things up. We've had some. I've had to crawl through fire a bit. That fire is always a tricky one. Takes a big team, takes a lot of control. But Brock and his guys have done a phenomenal job with special effects for us. I had to ride a bike down a set of steps in Bristol, England. That was tricky. We had to build a special bike. It was myself and a stunt person. I had to do it. I used a lot of my mountain biking experience, and those steps are all lime and they were slightly wet and had a certain type of sliminess to them. So it was basically a controlled skid top to bottom, and we were just making, attempting to not get hurt. We've done a lot of stuff. I mean, every fight scene, there's a potential for, a shot in the face or a chair leg in the back, in the ribs, or something like that. And so we have to be really careful, because tomorrow morning, this 47-year-old guy's got to show up and do 10 more pages, So don't take anything for granted.
And you've ridden horses on the show?
Yeah, horses are always tricky. My worst falls in my career have been falls off of a horse. Never on Murdoch, though.
Nothing too good for a cowboy.
So nothing too good for a cowboy. At that point, I was a fairly proficient rider and a little more enthusiastic. I was actually getting into it. I was learning to team rope, steer, roping, and that sort of stuff. And I was really into it. I did a show called Gold in New Zealand many years ago. It was a miniseries for Atlantis at the time. And I had a big fall off a horse at full gallop. This nasty little quarter horse named Boy. He was a tough character, and I guess the wranglers had practiced a certain loop with him, and I took him on a slightly different loop, just a little further, and he wanted to turn, and he was fighting me, and we were going full tilt boogie, and finally at the last second he decided to cut. And quarter horses are extremely powerful in the front, and he cut, and I kept going, and I landed in a pile of rocks, landed in the hospital. Miraculously not hurt, but I have a tremendous amount of respect for horses. And luckily we have a great team of people on Murdoch, and it's never really an issue. But, I've always got my eye out, because anything can happen with those guys.
Definitely. There are a selection of Murdoch fan events each year that are extremely popular. What's it like to spend a day meeting fans?
Well, it's interesting, because it's really amazing to meet all of the people that watch the show. But, as we all are people, and when people are nervous, it can sometimes be a little weird. Anything from trying to take a picture and they're shaking and they forget how to use their phones and those types of things, or they say very odd things and then walk away kind of not sure why they said them. It's very interesting. It's very sweet, and people are always very, very nice. I just feel bad a lot of the time that, some people get left out in one way or another, whether we run out of time or for whatever reason we're not able to accommodate everybody. And I feel bad because, they come from a long way. They've been supporting your show for however many years. So you want to make sure to give everybody the experience and the respect that they deserve.
When you're not filming Murdoch, you have a regular role in the Aurora Tea Garden movies, and you're always so busy. What do you like to do in your downtime?
I mountain bike. That is probably my number one thing. I've not been shy about that. I do a lot of it. As a matter of fact, it's probably bordering on fanaticism. I love it. It ticks a lot of boxes for me. It helps keep me in shape. I get the adrenaline rush. There's a progression to it. My skills develop. I feel great. I get to be in nature. There's the adrenaline. I can go to destinations and do it. I've made many, many close friends in the mountain biking community. So there's a lot of it that appeals to me. I do that. I try to stay in shape, try to keep some muscle on. I have trainers in whatever town I'm in. I seek them out and try to get the most bang for my buck that I can. And I love to ski, and I love motorsports. I love car racing and cars.
And favorite sport to watch?
Football. Okay. No, I'm lying. Hockey.
Oh.
Hockey,
Okay.
by far.
Favorite team then?
Montreal Canadiens.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you.